Welcome, 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 everyone, to the Women's Empower Network. I am so excited to have Laura here with us today. And she has a very interesting topic. And we were just talking a moment ago about labels. But before we talk about that, Laura, can you tell me
Yeah.
a little bit about your story and what got you into doing what you do today?
Well, it's hard. It's been a long road. Um, the first major trauma in my life happened like 40 years ago. But between all the traumas I've experienced, I'm finally pulling myself out and pulling and back to the person I am deep down. I've done a lot of work to get there. I want to help other people do the same, whether they're trauma survivors. I, the 40-year ago issue was a brain injury,
Oh,
major
wow.
head injury. I was this close to death. It was
Wow.
3 days before my neurosurgeon, who never operated, but it took him 3 days to admit I would even live. And that
Wow.
was my junior year of high school.
Wow.
So,
And so this has been a long journey
yes,
but of recovering from that. And before we,
recovering and being figuring, well, that 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 injury actually, um it prevented what I had planned on doing for my life's work from going forward, because I was a trumpeter and I was a damn good one, and I planned on being a professional trumpeter, and I lost control of some of my embouchure and it would not come back. So,
wow. And that, I can't even imagine, that's so heartbreaking to, just be 100% clear. And this is who I am. And this is what I'm going to do, to life presenting you with an experience that says, no, you're not.
like, yeah.
Wow. So how did you, I mean, where did it take you from there? How did you start overcoming this, what I would imagine was a huge disappointment,
Yeah, mildly putting it.
right?
um, um, well, I, um, I, the mindset of my family was, well, you got to go to school for something you can do, and just do that, and just do it, and just do it, just do it, do it. And it's just like my family, very scarcity. And one of the previous interviews you were doing today, I was listening to for a little bit, and she talked about scarcity mindset. That is my entire family. I am trying to get out of that, and I am out of that now, but they just don't understand.
Well, right, because they're still in that
Yeah,
vibration that we were
yeah, and
talking
they're
about.
still at that level, and I try to help them, and it is what it is. They're
Right?
not ready.
Sometimes all we can do is do our own work and just be an example.
Be an example, point the direction, and if they don't take it, okay, it's not my doing. I did all I could.
Right. And you were talking earlier before we went live or recorded. We were talking about labels. You want to talk more about that, where people like to put labels on us that may limit us?
Oh, yes. The program, well, the people I'm trying to serve are other trauma survivors. So I've had this head injury trauma. I've also been in domestic abuse, litigious abuse, going through the family court system, parental alienation, all that stuff. And so multiple traumas. And there's so much more to me, though, and to everyone than just the labels, and trying to get past, pushing past the label into who you really are is so important. And that's what I want to do, how I want to serve, how I can help other people. So I'm doing it, and I've done it, and I want to help other people do it too.
That's beautiful. And so you mentioned that you created this program that helps people.
Yes.
What do you do? Do you take them on a journey?
Yes, it's an 8-week journey, weekly calls, and there's a group, the group in Facebook for accountability and group connection.
Well, what kind of things do you do in this journey?
Well, I mean, we start out with start out with mindset and meditation, self-care, rediscovering your, what your gifts are, and how you can use them, and learning how to be open, and a few other things. But
So it's learning how to re-empower yourself
yes,
and move past all the labels that not only that other people put on us, but that we put on ourselves
that's right.
that will really hold us back.
Yes.
That's amazing. So this has been a very long journey for you.
Yes, it has.
And it took as much time as it took, right?
That's right.
Well, that's amazing. So what would you say to somebody else who's dealing with trauma? What would you suggest that might be a starting point for them?
Well, if you're in the midst of it, it's to get yourself to a safe space, to get yourself to a place where you can breathe, whether that means reaching out to local shelters or what have you, making a plan and doing. When I left my first ex, I was the only one working. We were living in his parents' dank in-law apartment in their house, and I just made a plan, got a cell phone, kept it in the car because he didn't want me to have that. And this was back in the early 2000s, and not everyone had them then. And got a cell phone. There was a storage locker right down the road, and I rented a small space, and I was working at the time at, I don't know if you remember the company, the Store Filings.
No.
Anyway, it's up in the Northeast. It was they got taken over by Macy's. And as they were consolidating, selling things down, I would get things really cheap and stick them in the storage locker on the way home. And just made a plan and moved out.
How long was that journey from making that decision to being able to finally move out? Was it weeks or months?
Well, I finally made the decision. Had gone out with a friend of mine in November to a movie, and we were talking, and I started thinking about it, and then started putting the plan in motion and moved out on Valentine's Day that next year.
Wow. Wow. Well, that was really smart. I mean, yeah, when you're caught in it, it takes a lot of courage, and I admire
Mhm.
that you managed to have the courage to do it. And it sounds like you had friends that could help and support you along the way.
Yeah,
And
well, my dad was still healthy and here and healthy, I should say, at that time. He's the one that actually helped move me out to, the initial move out.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So this work that you do now, did you have you had some training in it, or is it just something that
It's
you use your own life experience?
I'm using my own life experience because, how can it's not, I don't claim to be a medical professional. I never, want to say, no, you don't need medication. Or personally, I don't take medication against my family's wishes, but
Right?
uh,
But you've learned to stay true to you.
yes, that's that's right.
And that's a
And
big piece of it.
it is absolutely.
So tell me more about how does frequency, how do you think about frequency, and how does that come into the picture?
Frequency, everything is frequency. I mean, Einstein said it. I think you saw one of my, everything is frequency. Match the frequency that you're at with the frequency of what it is you want. And as Einstein says, you can't help but get it. That's physics, which I just, I'm a huge science geek, as well as other geeks, other types of geeks.
We're all
But
multifaceted.
yes, I mean, I wear bracelets and stones on my neck and in my pocket and all of the time. You know, the frequencies of these different stones, just helping amplify me.
And what does that do for you if somebody's new to frequencies and you're wearing these beats and stuff? How does that help you?
All these, like, I can't remember offhand the different frequencies, but like this amethyst is good for communication. Aquamarine, communication. Amethyst, spirituality. Labradorite, communication, protection. It matching different, what the stones do with what you want, and just, and I wear them all on my receptive arm. Most people say the left arm is receptive. Well, it is if you're right-handed, but if you're left-handed, your right arm is.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, your dominant hand is your projective hand always.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. And so and I would imagine too, by looking at them and everything, they're a constant reminder about being
Mhm.
mindful about your thoughts and your
Yes,
frequency and
yes,
what it is you're focused on.
yes, absolutely.
So what would be some words of wisdom to close this interview that you would like to share? Is there something in particular?
There, everyone has have so many gifts, and they are needed, and the world needs what people have, and I want to help as many people as I can discover and let those gifts shine.
That's beautiful. Well, Laura, thank you so much for being here. And we will be sure to put the links above this interview so that if you want to get in touch with Laura, you'll be able to find it easier than if it's down in the comments. And Laura, thank you so much for being with us today.
Very welcome. You have a great day.